Hi, welcome to How We Met. I'm Sheryl Strich, and every month I get to interview couples who tell their story about how they met. Today's our special Valentine's Day episode, and we have two lovely couples, so let's get started. We have today Kevin and Kelley Lacey. Upon moving into the village, Kevin and Kelley immediately headed to the Community Fitness Center. You'll be able to see them here every day on the stair machine, elliptical, and recumbent bicycles, as well as on the weight training machines. They also explored pickleball, the Players Club, Porcelain Artists, and the Foodies Club before they found their true passion, lawn bowling. They both spend a couple hours a day on the lawn bowling greens. They're members of the Laguna Woods Lawn Bowling Club team that travels to compete against other clubs in Southern California in what's known as the Coast League. Kevin serves as a Laguna Woods delegate to the men's section of the Bowls USA Southwest Bowls Division, the largest of 7 divisions across the United States. They've also traveled to dozens of countries over the years to learn about other cultures and explore incredible landscapes. They've also traveled extensively within the United States to visit sites designed by the architect Frank Lloyd Wright and to determine where they wanted to live when they retired. So welcome, Kevin and Kelley. Thank you so much for coming on. I've been wanting you to come on for a year, and we finally made it happen. I always start with 3 questions. The first question is, where are you from?
I'm originally from Ohio, and that is where I lived until we were married.
Okay.
I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and lived there throughout my master's degree, and then lived in Richmond, Virginia for a year before we got married.
Well, where'd you live after you got married?
Maryland.
Oh, in Maryland.
Yes, we lived there for 6 years.
Suburban Washington, D.C. We worked there for 6 years. And then
We were moved to Ohio after we got different positions.
yeah.
We were in education.
25 years in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
And then moved out here to California.
Okay. All right. How long have you been a couple?
We've been a couple for 36 years.
36 years.
And we've been married
32 years.
yes,
Okay. And how long have you been in Laguna Woods?
15 months.
15 months, that's right.
Yes.
I met you when you first moved in, just after you moved in.
Yes.
All right, well, let's get started. How did you meet?
So I was a student at the University of Pittsburgh. After my freshman year, I worked at an amusement park in Pittsburgh. It's kind of the amusement park in Pittsburgh, at Kennywood Park. So I worked there at the rides, and I had a good experience that summer. And at the University of Pittsburgh, there's a student newspaper, the Pitt News, and they advertised Cedar Point. And I had heard of Cedar Point. You know, it was a big amusement park in Ohio. And they were advertised, they wanted 3,000 employees for the next summer. And I thought, oh, I've had experience in an amusement park. I'll see about working at Cedar Point. So I went late March and met the people at the student union and spoke to them about opportunities for that next summer. I said, I'd really like to work in the rides. I've got experience working in the rides. And so, didn't think anything of it. Time goes on, and May the 9th, I get a phone call, Cedar Point. They say, hey, we'd love you to come work with us, and we'd like you to work in food operations.
Oh.
Okay, I've worked on ride, I've got experience, but okay, food operations, still, great experience, go to Ohio, live there for the summer.
Did they put you up?
Yeah, so we paid $11 a week to live in a group. It was the old Breakers Hotel, and I had 2 roommates, but no air conditioning.
Oh.
Yeah, it was bare basics. Right. But so yeah, we put it up. So they said, oh, and we want you here on the 11th. So 2 days later to be there for orientation, and so I'm like, okay, pack up the car, off to Ohio.
Was school over at that point?
We had just finished, literally, and both of our schools were early dismissal schools, so we were late April, first week of May.
One other question, was this a good paying job?
So, this was 30 years ago, but
for the time.
For the time, it was minimum wage-ish
Right.
for us at the start. I was able to move into a management position there and got like an extra 30 cents an hour. It was. For example, I worked 1 week. I worked almost 100 hours in the 1 week, and my paycheck was just under $400.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, but it was a good job, a good summer job for this college student.
So packed up the car and headed there to go to Ohio. And
It was between my freshman and sophomore year of college, and I was
What school were you going to?
Bowling Green State University.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay. And I was trying to decide, where do I want to work this summer? And my girlfriend worked at Cedar Point last summer, and she said, I had a really great experience. I'm going to work there again this summer. You should join me. I'm like, okay, sounds fun.
Right.
Why not? And so I applied to Cedar Point, and on a Tuesday, I received a phone call saying, I have a position for you, and it's in food operations.
Right.
And I'm like, doesn't sound very fun, but okay, sure. And they said, and we want you to be here on Thursday. I'm like, okay, I better get going.
so I arrived at the park that same Thursday,
Right.
go through security, head to the food operations office, do the, here, fill out this paperwork.
Right.
So I'm in the office just filling out the paperwork.
Right.
Okay. I arrived to the office, and I see it's just the three of us, the employee, and then Kevin doing his paperwork, and I. And the gal gives me my paperwork and starts to ask me, just basic generic questions, one of which was, are you a minor? I said, what is a minor? She said, I don't know.
So they turned to me, what's a minor? And so I said, Kelly, how old are you?
And I said, 19.
You're not a minor.
I'm not a minor.
Off she does her paperwork. And next stage, it's kind of like the military. You go to the next element. Next is you go to the place where you get your clothing. So off I go to get my clothes.
And I walk in, a step behind him, and out he comes from the wardrobe, from changing his clothes, and he has on these brown polyester pants and brown shirt. And I'm like, oh, geez, nice outfit. He's in all brown. And
That was the uniform?
yeah, it was pretty. And so then she looks at my paperwork and she's like, oh, you're working in Frontierland. Here's your outfit. And it's all brown. Brown skirt, brown shirt. I'm like, great.
So that was kind of that was the end of the day, and they said, orientation tomorrow morning.
Right.
And for us, if you're on time, you're late.
Right.
So we, unbeknownst at the time, we were the first two people to orientation the next morning.
Okay.
So I was there first, Kelly comes in second.
It's just the two of us, and we're waiting for the meeting to begin.
Right.
So we kind of sit together at a similar table,
Right.
waiting for orientation, a little bit of small talk, fill out a little bit more paperwork. And then after orientation, they say, hey, okay, everyone, here's your assignments.
Right. And we were both assigned to the exact same location, the stockade. So,
Appropriately named. Right,
That's it.
we're working in a stockade all summer.
yeah.
It's a food stand.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we walked to the stockade, and
We literally, after the meeting, we walked together down to the food stand where we're going to work to meet the crew who are there, the manager.
yeah.
So were you guys the waiters or the food hander-outers?
We were behind like the cashier and making the food and
Oh, so you made the food.
yeah.
Oh,
So
what a
picture-
lovely
yeah,
job
yeah.
all summer.
greasy.
Right, you must have smelled really wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cooking a lot of hamburgers and
The
just-
two of you were doing that?
I did more of the funnel cakes and
Oh, so you were both preparing food also?
yes, yes. And the stockade was broken up into 3 different sections.
one had kind of the pizza,
Right.
one was the kind of burgers and fries.
The desserts, the French waffles.
So we walked down there together and just kind of talking, and she's asking me questions,
And because I lived near Cedar Point, everybody went to Cedar Point at least once every summer. That was the place to be. And finding out he's from Pittsburgh and he had never been to Cedar Point before, I'm like, what? Who's never been to Cedar Point? Everyone's been here.
so it was kind of just a good conversation. Talked about family a little bit on the walk down too, brothers and sisters.
So you dormed there. Did you live at home?
No, I also lived there.
Oh, okay.
So,
So
with-
they took
just in a
$11
different
a week
building.
out of your paycheck.
Yes.
Yes.
And I lived in an air-conditioned unit,
Oh.
so I'm sure mine was a little more expensive.
Yeah.
So you went your way, I went my way,
And it wasn't by
And-
choice. They just said, here's where you're living. So
Right.
Yeah.
she got the nice one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the not so nice.
And then
So-
afterwards, the day is kind of over, and you
so,
head to your
yeah,
room, I
yeah,
head to mine.
We just kind of went on our ways that day. And then it's early in the season.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
school's not out.
It's
a lot
May
of the college
11th.
kids aren't there. So there's a small group of workers. There's going to be a large group that comes in.
Right.
And so I said to the manager, it was just the manager and I working in the hamburger section. And I said, oh, that girl over there kind of, seems somebody I'd like to get to know and be interested in. He said, well, you better do it now before the rest of the crew shows up because,
Right.
now's your opportunity. So unbeknownst to Kelly.
I'm outside. Is it early the next morning?
This is you were in the funnel cake room and then you got moved over.
Oh, okay. So it's late in the evening, towards the end of the shift, and again, there aren't a lot of people there,
Right.
and none of the customers.
Yeah.
And the manager comes over and says, "I would like for you to move over to this section." And I'm thinking, this is strange, but you're the manager, I'll do what you say. So I head over to the hamburger area, and I'm in front with the cash register, and there's just like a ledge with where the food
counter
is.
where you put the food up and
Right.
the people up front take it from the back of
Yeah, and you're behind there with the
at the
grill.
grill. Yeah. So we're just talking. And I'm like, oh, hey, what's going on? And then during that conversation, you said, I'm just here to have fun.
This is true.
Yeah.
I was just here to have
Yeah,
fun.
not looking for a boyfriend or anything. I'm like, okay. So a couple days, well, actually that evening, we,
I was gonna say.
yeah, it was that evening, I get, we're done with work, go back to my new two roommates,
Right.
and they're like, hey, we're gonna go to this place called Louie's,
Right.
and we're gonna go hang out there. I'm like, sure, I'll go.
And I go back to mine, and all of my girlfriends are there, and they said, "Hey, we're gonna go to Louie's tonight. Why don't you join us?" I'm like, "Okay, sounds great."
So I'm there at Louie's, and I'm talking to Trent and Ned, my two roommates, and we're kind of talking,
And then I show up, and it's packed. I mean, like, there are a lot of people there.
Right.
But of course, the person that I notice is Kevin. So I go make a beeline to Kevin, and we talk
I forgot
the
about Ned
entire
and Trent.
night.
Yeah, and we just stood there talking the entire night.
So you found that you guys had a lot in common.
Yeah.
We did.
So then,
Yeah.
I guess it was probably 2 days later. I had the day off, and Kelly.
I had the early
I
shift.
checked the schedule. Kelly had the early shift, so she was there at like 7 a.m.
Yeah, I'm outside washing all the tables,
Right.
making sure everything's ready. And Kevin comes and says,
Do you want to go out after your work? I know you're off at 2.
of course I said yes.
So we went and rode rides.
Oh, you rode rides.
That was the big
That was
date.
it.
So that was
That was
pretty,
fun.
pretty for a college student who's only making minimum wage. That was a pretty good date.
Yeah, so that was.
Very affordable date.
Yes,
And so the rest of the summer
we
we
were
were
inseparable.
Oh, great. And then you went back to Bowling Green, and you went back to
University of Pittsburgh.
And did you? Phone
Long
calls
time
were
to-
long distance.
Yes.
Oh, 10 cents a minute.
Yeah.
That was.
So you called before the
Yeah,
out.
we knew the time
Yeah.
when we could call, and our parents would say, "What did you talk to for an hour?"
What could you possibly talk about for so long?
Yeah, there's no way.
So we're a year ahead or 2 years ahead?
1 year ahead.
1 year ahead.
I'm only 3 months older.
Okay, but you skipped a grade, or
Right.
you were
I
behind.
went to kindergarten at 4.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so great. So then you both finished your respective colleges.
Yes.
And I did a master's degree straight
Okay.
at Duquesne University.
Okay.
I did my master's. Undergrad, I was an economics major.
Okay.
I went to Kelly and I said, "Do you want time or money?" And she said,
Time.
"Time." So then I went back and got a master's in education.
What does that mean?
Do you want time with me,
Okay.
and I make
Less money.
less money,
okay.
or do you
Or do you
want a
want-
lot of money and not see me as often?
Okay, okay.
And, well, probably not see you as often.
Right.
And so I said, I want time.
So then I went back and did a master's in education
Okay.
and became a teacher.
Okay. And you did
So
too.
now we're both teachers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you? I got the 2-minute warning, which is a bummer because there's a lot more I wanted to ask you, and I wanted you to. We'll have to meet separately.
Right.
But so did you? I know you became a principal, right?
And I was a school superintendent as well.
Right. And you were in the same school district or the same school?
A variety,
So
both.
that-
But I was a principal, and I was a teacher and a principal.
When
Some
we
of
first
them,
came to Ohio, I was high school assistant principal. She was elementary assistant principal.
and
in
that was in the same
district.
school district.
And that was the case for 3 years.
Yeah.
And then I was going to be the assistant superintendent.
Right.
And I couldn't really supervise my wife.
Right.
And so I became a principal at a different
School
school
district.
district.
So when
yes.
you were in college, and I've got to wind this up, but when you were in college, were you studying to be a teacher?
Yes.
Okay, so you were on the path already. So you
correct.
didn't have to go take more courses.
Correct.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much for
Absolutely,
coming on.
Sheryl.
We'll have to talk in the gym.
We're so excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. I really am glad you were able to come on, so thank you very much. If you'd like to come on to the show, email us at lwvcouples@gmail.com. Include your name, phone number, and email address, and brief description of your story.